Hi, this is Jace Gordon O'Toole here with a Summer of Fiend book review. Today's book I'm going to be talking about today, Castaways by Brian Keene. This was published by Leisure Books in February 2009. This was a decent read. I read this book a long time ago when I started collecting horror novels, and after reading it was okay. While I like the idea of the story takes place on an island with a bunch of people are competing against each other on this reality TV show that's heavily based off Survivor. But then things start going from bad to worse when you get these ape-like creatures that begin killing off the cast and crew members. A hurricane comes in, and then there's a terrorist member in the mix. Overall, this was a decent read. However, I had some issues with this novel. One of them, I felt the pacing was way too fast, as I read through this book in one sitting. That's how, there's no filler. It just gets straight to the point, and there's no build-up or anything. It just throws you right into the story, and it doesn't take long for things to start happening. That's my one complaint with this novel. I just felt things were going by way too fast in this book. And I felt some filler could have been added to slow it down, build the suspense, then add in the horror and stuff. And I felt there could have been so much improvement to this novel, but overall it was a decent read. I'll explain my many issues and problems I have with it, and the things I liked, the things I didn't like with it, but overall it was a decent read. Alright, onto the book review. Plot. Becca, along with some other people, are competing on the reality TV show Castaways, set on an island out in the South Pacific, competing in a series of challenges while being filmed by camera crews. The remaining team will win $1 million. During a swimming contest, Becca nearly drowns but pushes herself harder to make it across the finish line. As she's pulled on board a boat with her team member Jerry after he tells her their rival team Stefan has won the race. Returning back to the island, Becca and Jerry meet up with their other teammates. Troy, a man who ran away from his parents along with his brother, as they travel across the states doing different jobs till they settle down in Seattle, and who refuses to leave his lucky hat behind and swears a lot. Roberta, a 54-year-old librarian, Paula, a friendly, big-breasted, airheaded woman, Jerry from South California, who owns a video store, the rival team, Jeff, Raul, Ryan, Richard, and Matthew, who is very mysterious and quiet around the others. The teams are taken to a set with the show host, Roland Thompson, a handsome man wearing a safari outfit. Congrats Stefano as the winner, and he's protected and can't be voted out. Becca and the others decide to vote off members of his team to ensure they'll beat him, but realize they'll have to turn on each other during the finale. Becca only entered on the show to win the money and give herself a new life. She isn't sure she'll be the last one on Castaways. As the crew returns to a large yacht on the other side of the island, which has more luxuries than the contestants in their bamboo huts. Working with the crew members are the last year's winners, Mark, Jesse, and Stuart. The crew is looking forward to finishing the final season of this show, but ratings have begun to drop after one of the contestants broke her leg during a challenge and had to be airlifted to the hospital. Stuart comes in with a weather chart and satellite cell phone informing them a cyclone is coming towards the island, and Rowan has ordered the crew to pack up and leave the contestants behind, but he wants them to stay and record footage for the show to boost its ratings. Jesse and Mark are against this, but Stuart ensures them should anything happen to the contestants, Roland will send in air support to aid anyone. But if they choose to leave the island now, they won't win the $1 million. Against their wishes, they agree to Roland's plan and pack up what they'll need and go to inform the contestants. Becca and the others are shocked with Troy swearing his head off, but later changes his mind when Richards calls him a chicken, making him wanting to stay and beat him. But Becca notices something is off. All the birds have gone quiet and hasn't seen any wildlife, and even feels she's being watched, and it's not the camera crew. When the team decides to have Matthew go get fruit for the others, he brings along Jesse and Mark. As Matthew is chopping away at vines, Jesse cuts himself with Matthew chuckling at him. Annoyed with him, Jesse tells him off when suddenly Matthew snaps at him, which shocks both of them, since he wasn't hostile towards anyone since the start of the show. Then Matthew brings them to a spot, and without warning, he orders Jesse to kneel and stabs him in the chest with a bamboo spear. He orders Mark to get out his video camera and begin recording him. Matthew reveals he's a member of the militia group Sons of the Constitution who wishes to overthrow the president and start a civil war. Matthew has Mark record his message and his plan of killing the other contestants as a terrorist attack before killing Jesse by stabbing him in the throat. Matthew orders Mark to do his bidding but tells him off and runs. He tries running back to warn the others but drops his camera. He attempts to pick it up but is stabbed in the back by the spear. As the cyclone gets closer to the island with both teams preparing to survive the storm, but the tension is rising between Stefan and the others when he reveals to be a selfish racist jerk who doesn't care about anyone but himself and nearly gets into a fist fight with Troy. As the thunder roars with flashes of lightning, it begins pouring rain with the rival team trying to get supplies when suddenly Ryan and Richard are attacked by ape-like creatures as they try escaping from them but are torn apart by these muscular beasts. Roberta is able to escape by kicking one of the beasts in the balls and flees. She happens to bump into Matthew but dismisses her story and slits her throat with a pocket knife. With the storm raging over the island, it isn't long till the others are being hunted down by these ape-like creatures as they slaughter the men while capturing the woman. Troy and Jerry team up to go rescue Becca, who's been captured. Using makeshift weapons, they plan to save anyone they can and get off the island while being hunted down by these savage beasts. Will anyone escape alive, or will they be hunted? Castaways was a decent horror novel. Like the idea of people being on an island while trying to win on a reality TV show that quickly shifts into survival horror when ape-like creatures begin killing the cast and crew members along with a terrorist member in the mix. Decent characters with some I liked more than others. I wish Brian added more scenes of them as I felt everyone was shoehorned into the story as it doesn't take long for the plot to get moving quickly. Detail was alright, however, I felt the pacing was way too fast as it doesn't take long for things to go from bad to worse, and felt the subplot with the terrorist member could have done a lot more in the novel as he's quickly dispatched by the beasts. Some filler could have been added to this novel to offer more meat and potatoes, as I really wish it had more in it. Like I said, it's short, simple, straight to the point, and would like it more if it started slower, then added the elements of horror in the middle, as Brian could have built up the suspense better. Lastly, I would have liked some more scenery within this novel to add some extra detail to it. Overall, Castaways is a decent horror novel while it has its moments of violent gore and brutal scenes with some added dark humor in the mix that some might like. However, don't have your expectations too high as this novel doesn't offer a lot and can be read in one sitting as the pacing is that fast. But if you just want a quick fun horror read, then you might enjoy Castaways. Alright, that's the review today. Hope you enjoy. As I said, this was a decent read. As I said, I like the idea that the novel takes place on this tropical island, and it follows these different groups of people as they're competing against each other while on this reality TV show, and they're trying to win this money while doing all these like wild and crazy challenges on the island and stuff. And then shit hits the fan when a storm comes in, followed by these ape creatures that begin attacking the cast and crew members, and then you got a terrorist member in the mix. So that I liked, but however, I felt this book could have been a lot longer. This novel is... Hold on, oh, here it is. Okay, this novel is like it's 280 pages. That's how long it is. So it's an average length, and the pacing is very quick. It just gets straight to the point. It's just things are moving very quickly, and I felt this would have been better if the author started off slower. Like I even thought like he could have even done like the start of the novel like do an intro of the of the TV show, and you see all the different people and stuff to kind of give an idea what the show is like, and then you could introduce all the different characters and have like one of those like things I remember seeing back in the days of cable TV when they have like these like game shows and stuff. They would like interview people and like they'll say, "Hi, I'm such and such. I'm from this place, from here, and I entered the show because I need the money because of this reason or something." Like that would have, I felt that would have made an interesting way to open up the novel, like introduce all the different characters and stuff, and then go straight to the story. As I felt, everyone just kind of felt like shoehorned in. Like the author does a decent job of like giving us enough description on the characters and stuff and a backstory on most of them. which I thought was alright, but I just feel everyone's shoehorned in. Is like he's just trying to get the story going like quickly as possible, just to get things started happening. So yeah, as I felt the pacing was too fast. Some filler could have been added. I felt like start the novel off slow and then build the suspense up leading up to the horror and stuff. That would have been great. Um, and I also felt the Matthew character, the subplot of the terrorist murder. I felt that could have he could have went more with that. I thought it would be interesting if he like snuck in like bombs and stuff and starts blowing up the yacht and other equipment, so that way they can't send a call for help. And he's basically got he's basically after he's done like dispatching everyone on the island, he's just basically gonna get picked up by his sons of Congress members and stuff. I felt this like that could have like added more to the story. And then either later on he gets dispatched by the beast or gets killed off by one of the other characters. It doesn't matter to me as long as it's a good showdown between him and one of the other characters. I felt that would have been better. The creatures, what while they're shown very early in the novel, they're not they are featured a couple scenes, but I felt it was like way too quickly. It's just they appear and then they're gone, and I felt they could have more scenes of them would have been better, and I would have liked some more carnage, mayhem in this book, as I felt like there are some like gory scenes in it, but it's over like that. It's just like way too fast. That's my only problem with this book. Everything's going way too fast. I just wish it would slow down a little bit. Add some filler just to make the book a little longer, and then add the horror. That would have made it way better. And the cast of characters that we follow, like there's characters that I like, and there's characters I absolutely do not like at all. And as I said, I felt a lot of them were kind of shoehorned into the book. I just felt I wish there was more scenes of them and stuff, and it would have made things better. Um, the island they're on, like Brian gives like little descriptions of what this island looks like. I wish he had like more scenery scenes that would have added more to the novel, to so that we can see more what this island looks like and stuff. He's just very like brief in description of the island. He just gives a brief description of what it looks like, and that's it. I felt he could have done a little better with the detail. So overall, this was a decent read. Like if you want to read like something quick and fun, then maybe you'll like this more. But if you're expecting a lot from Castaways, then I would say pass on it, because it does not offer a lot. And like I said, like the pacing is so quick, you could read this in one sitting. It doesn't take long for things to start happening in this book. So if you're expecting more, maybe look for something else. Overall, it's up to you if you want to read this book or not. Alright, that's it for the review today. Sorry this took a little longer. I got sick last week, so I was recovering. I'm somewhat better, not really. Oh man, the end of this month has just been crazy, and I'm just hoping that I just hope I feel fully better soon, as I hate getting sick, as it causes me to just basically having to lie down and just sleep a lot, and I really don't like that. I like to be doing things, so I'm hoping this cold or whatever I caught will go away soon, and once I'm fully better, I can just read away at books and stuff. Alright, that's it for the review today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to October Library, the YouTube channel where I post book reviews and artificial related content. Until then, I'll catch you later.